You're listening to Happy Hour Hustle from the creative geniuses here at 834. We're funny, informative, and we swear. We talk all things marketing, communication, small business, plus we offer up hot takes on our industry and whatever else we feel like talking about. So, grab your drink of choice. It's always 5 o'clock at 834. And crank it up.
Welcome to the Happy Hour Hustle, where I, your host, Kim Bodie, it's finally back being your host. Not that Maddie has not been doing a fantastic job. I've just been a little busy launching an entire new line of business. And it's probably why I'm so excited to introduce our guest today, Monica Gauthier. That is a French last name. Her maiden name is actually Lucas, which, as I've told her, I prefer. Monica is the former owner, just recently sold, of Groovy Donuts. They are an award-winning. There are 50 companies to watch this year, and she fell into the business years ago with her then partner, now husband, Andrew. And Monica's going to share all of her lessons, what she wishes people knew about small business, and we'll dig into, like all the things. We always get personal here on Happy Hour Hustle, and I do get her drink near the end. I do want to say that she started out in fisheries biology and management and ended up in donuts. So welcome, you guys, to Happy Hour Hustle, and let's get started. Hi, listeners. Thank you again for joining Happy Hour Hustle. You've already heard about our badass guest, Monica. So I'm going to have Monica start by giving us 3 words she would use to describe herself, which is totally putting her on the spot, but
Yes.
welcome. Oh, and then you have to tell the listeners, one, what is your go-to drink, and then also what you're drinking now.
Okay.
All right, I know that's not a great
pressure.
interview. First, three words.
3 words
Yeah.
to describe myself.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So, oh my goodness. Why did you do this, Kim?
I know. We're
I
gonna have
asked
to
for
edit out the
questions in
pause.
advance
Come on.
for a reason.
Big deal. Energy. Bring
Okay.
that. Like what? You are a badass, so those words better reflect it.
Okay. Oh shit. So again, no pressure again.
I know.
So
Do you want me to start for you?
It's boring. I'm like
boring. You
organized.
give me 3 words and I'll give you 3 words.
Hyper organized.
Did you say hyper organized?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's technically sort of 2, but it's hyphenated, so I'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right. What's your other 2?
Goofy.
Oh, I love that. I love that one. Yes, I love that one. Okay, one more. These are good.
Honest.
Oh, I love that. I would say probably empathetic.
Yes.
You are a phenomenal manager, and you actually enjoy it, which from someone who doesn't, I don't get it. Yeah. You're incredibly empathetic.
Thank you.
I would say resilient. I mean, you have been through a lot and you're still standing. And I courageous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and
Kim.
I want this leads into my question, which is, for the past 10 years, was it Groovy Donuts?
Yeah, it was 10 and a half years.
10 and a half years.
Technically 11 I've been involved because it started 11 years before, to the date we signed our sales document, the day that we started talking about Groovy Donuts being in existence.
Okay, give an overview of Groovy Donuts and then tell me why donuts, just why you ended up in that, because your story is very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. I stumbled into being an entrepreneur, which is interesting. Most people don't, just do that. So Groovy Donuts exists because I was dating a boy who had his shit together. Mm-hmm. And I love that I didn't have to take care of him.
Oh my God.
And we were just enjoying life together. and working out together and doing fun stuff and being responsible but fun adults. And then he said to me, "Oh, what do you think about me opening up my own coffee shop?" And I said, "Do what you want. That sounds, interesting. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, do it." And then about a week later, he goes, "What about donuts?" And I told him that I hated donuts.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
um, and then I found out I do really like donuts. I'm just really picky about it. And so we just started, like, he started running off and going to all these different donut shops across Michigan. And I'd come home from work and there's all these little white bags with donuts in them. And I'm trying all these donuts. And then he was like, "I wonder what they make them with." And I'm like, "Ask him." And he's like, "I can't ask him." I'm like, "Yeah, you can." And then he started to ask. And then we found out some people are pretty private. So I was like, "Well, let me go with you." And, I would just throw out some trash from my car into their dumpster and take a
Oh my
look.
God, I love this so much. Look at you doing your market research, and and it was digging through a dumpster. God,
I know.
this goes back to courageous and also resilient. Like very interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so he was talking about the business, I realized he has no management experience. And I started to feel like, well, let me maybe make your, SOPs so that you have a binder to get started with so that you can train your employees. And I started asking more and more questions. And then I found out he was having problems with his contractors because we had to build out the Williamston location.
Yeah.
And I worked with a lot of contractors in my previous work. So I know how to talk to them and I understand enough about building things because my dad taught me how to build a lot of things that I can hang with the conversation and know what they're
Yeah.
talking about and know if they're full of shit or not. Because there's some people that are just contractors, are people, and some people like to bullshit. And so I was like, that guy is full of shit. And this
Yep.
guy is actually being a decent person.
Yeah.
So after I started helping with that, and literally crawling through like the ceiling to help a contractor put fire suppressant on the hood and crawling under the space and laying black pipe for the gas line for the fryer. I was like, "Hey, maybe I should just do this with you."
Yeah. Because you
And
need me. You clearly need me. Yeah.
well, I think he would have done it anyways.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting. And we sometimes have a thought experiment on what it would look like if I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I'm really not sure what that would look like. But
I think we all know. I think yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
well, so I convinced him. It took some convincing, and he tried to talk me out of it, and for good reason. I think it was a lot different than I thought it was going to be, and it was even more different for him than he thought it was going to be
Yeah.
because we weren't supposed to be working midnights. We weren't supposed to be making the donuts. We had a person who was supposed to be doing that,
Yeah.
a family member
Oh
who,
God, family.
yes, yeah, and that was horrible. That we were open the first week and I got a phone call and it was in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, can you come here and help me make donuts?" And I walked in and there was no baker and it was just me and Andrew. And I'm like, "So what happened?" And he was so upset, he couldn't even really talk about it. So we
Yeah.
didn't really I didn't even figure out what happened until like a week later.
Yeah.
And then I was just waiting for um, Andrew to decide to hire someone
Yeah.
because I was signed on not as a business partner. I
Yeah.
was signed on to help him
Yeah.
achieve the goal. And
Yeah.
then I was going to go do something else. And then it was complicated. I mean, it was really complicated.
Yeah.
And we were closer on finances than he expected. So we couldn't make that hire.
Yeah.
And we just had to make the donuts. And
There's a metaphor there. We just had to make the donuts.
we
Like,
just had, we just
my
had to make.
God, like the amount of entrepreneurs that could say that. Like, we just
Yeah,
got to make
exactly.
the thing.
Yeah,
because like you don't know what you don't know until you get into it. And
absolutely.
I wish
Yes.
people understood how fucking hard this is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have
'Cause you-
got to be slightly off your fucking rocker to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even like there's so many people who look at a donut shop and they're like, oh, you wake up at 4 in the morning to make the donuts, right? When we were in our last few years of business, 4 in the mornings when you start packing orders. Like we had that many pre-orders and places to deliver donuts.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. We made thousands of donuts a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes time to make handcrafted donuts.
Oh my
And
God.
so every business has that
Yeah.
underlying like work that no one else can see, no one else can
The
comprehend,
unseen.
the unseen. And that's just like the stuff that needs to happen day to day, like not the, actually assessing your business and, working on your business
Yep.
and growing your business. I mean, that's just day to day operations.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, and like you did the damn thing. Like, and I'm not, you were Michigan 50 companies to watch this year.
Thank
You were in the Women's Entrepreneurial Fellowship, which is how we
you.
met.
Excellent.
And you now are on the board for the Small Business Association of Michigan. And 10 years. And I remember somebody saying to me, "Oh, you've hit 10 years, you've made it." And I remember laughing because I was like, "You never feel like you've made it. Never."
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm
No.
in 18, 19 years of business. At some point, you just stop counting because you're like, God, I wish I was further. Or, you're just full of doubt. And
Yeah.
I think, you never fully feel like you've done it. And you made a really big decision this past year. So, tell us what
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah. We decided to sell. And that was hard enough for us to decide.
Yeah.
It was wild how people continue to respond to that because it's been a little over a month now,
Mhm.
and people have opinions
I know. And
about
you
that.
don't ask for them, but they're always willing to share them.
Yes, yes. And I think one of the interesting things was when I started contacting my vendors. Most of my vendors thought it was a bad thing, and I'm like, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. This is a great thing. Why would this be a bad thing? Um, so
But that says a lot about you and Andrew and how you ran the business and you built relationships. And I say it all the time, people do business with people, not logos. You,
yeah,
as a business owner, are the one who has built the relationships. You are the one who has hustled to get where you are. You are the one who has made the decision to pay other people before you, to put
yeah,
others' needs in front of yours.
yeah,
And I mean, it's I'm just, I don't care what anybody else says. I'm happy. I'm happy that you made the right decision for you because it is like this is a mind fuck doing what we do. And it's not easy. And you
no,
made the decision that was best for your mental health, that was best for your marriage, and was
yeah,
best for your family and your life.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing is, again, I was there at first to just help Andrew succeed, and then about a year in, I insisted on being an owner because I realized that I was in it, and there were decisions that needed to be made. I needed to take control of the management. Um, I kicked him out of that whole
Yeah.
realm
Yeah.
because he was. I love the man, but he's not good at that.
God, I would love somebody to kick me out of that. If
Oh
anyone's
gosh,
listening, come kick me out of managing.
come
That
kick
would be
me out.
great.
Uh, but yeah, and we I didn't have a vision at all for what it looked like 5, 10 years down the line. I just knew that I needed to take control to make it work. And then once we started to make it work, COVID happened,
Oh my God.
and
And then you had to
that
pivot.
was when we started reflecting.
Yeah.
We started looking for financial support, and
Yep.
during that time we discovered that there are small business support out there. There's um, I think the SBDC was where we were talking to them, and we found out they had a program that they were going to test, and we weren't technically big enough to do it. But we said, well, we know we're not big enough. We know we don't make enough revenue, but will you test it on us anyways? And I think that's part of what made Groovy Donuts so successful is that we were always just too small for whatever class or
Right.
whatever
Right.
program or whatever loan.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked anyways.
Yep.
We just were like, we see your parameters, but look at our shit and we know what we're doing. We're going to take it seriously. We're not going to waste your time.
Yep.
We're going to give 100%. Will you let us try it? And we started building that reputation that, oh, if you give them a chance, they're definitely going to do it. And they're
Oh,
going to
they'll
take it
crush it.
seriously.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's when we started really working on our business and looking at our 5-year plan, looking at our BHAG.
Yeah.
And that's when we really started making the magic happen,
Yeah.
was 2020, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
then
the
that's,
worst possible circumstances. I go back to the
well,
word resilient and courageous again.
thank you. Well, I don't like being helpless. I
No.
like having some control over my circumstances. And
Yeah.
I think that if you're just a victim and you have that, oh, poor is me kind of mentality, you'll be there.
Oh,
That's where
yeah.
you'll stay.
Well,
And
and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, I
it
think. And I
is,
think
it
that's
is.
important for people to know. Like,
Yeah.
um,
And it's so
you'll never
easy.
get out of
Trust
it.
me. There, and I'm going to be completely honest. There were so many nights when I would be so exhausted at the end of the day, and I was saying, "Oh, poor me. I'm
Oh,
so
100%.
tired.
But nobody
I'm
sees
working
that.
so hard."
But
And
nobody
then,
sees
yeah, well, I'll say it. Like you feel it. You
Oh, yeah.
feel awful, and then you get some decent sleep, or
Yep.
you not. You get some sleep. You get a little nap. You drink some coffee. You drink a bunch of water so you don't cramp up, and then you go, all right, I'm going to get some shit done. I'm
Yep.
going to take care of some business. I'm not going to just wallow.
We literally plan in our breakdowns. We're like, okay, so on Friday at 3, I will have this breakdown because then I have the weekend to recover, get myself out of it. Not you, because obviously, donuts are a 7-day-a-week job. And then
Yeah.
you're like, all right, well, I've done it. Here we go again.
Here we
Like,
go again.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. We had Mondays. We took Mondays off,
yes,
which was
yes,
we just slept, to be honest, for
yeah.
years. Like if we didn't have to run an errand, we'd just sleep all day.
Yeah. So,
And
so what time are you getting up now?
oh my gosh, Kim. Before Groovy Donuts, I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I am sleeping till 8 in the morning.
Oh my God, that's
I'm
amazing.
sleeping 10 to 12 hours a day for weeks
Oh,
now.
yay. So
I've
you're catching up
never
on all
slept so
that
much in
sleep?
my life.
Yeah. Yeah. That you missed like the last 10 years. This is amazing.
I
Uh-huh.
used to sleep 7 hours a day before Groovy Donuts. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I am sleeping and I'm like, my bed is so comfortable. And I
Oh,
wake up in the
yeah.
morning
Can
and
we
I'm like,
talk about that real quick? What is your bed brand? This is a random question. But
oh,
as
bed
we get
brand.
older, we injure ourselves sleeping. And I'm just curious,
Oh,
what is the bed you have?
I don't even
Oh my
remember.
God.
I know
Yeah.
I laid on a bunch of beds and I did
Okay,
some
did you do
reviews.
that? Okay, because
Yeah.
I just
I,
ordered mine online, and I think that I
oh,
need to actually go to these
yes.
mattress stores that I just think are
So
so weird.
I signed up for consumers reports
Mm,
and
again.
I looked at the highest rated ones. I found where locally they're at and I laid in all of them. And I had my friend with me and we laughed about it. And I was like, this is so awkward, but I
No, this
don't
is
care.
when you basically take a roadie and you're like, let's go. We're
Yes.
testing out beds today. Like,
Yeah. We
my
actually
God.
went and stopped and got a cocktail halfway through and
Yeah,
then laid on
yeah.
some more
Because
beds. It was,
obviously, like,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
It's great.
Sorry, this is fantastic. You are going to have to look at your bed brand and get it back to me on
Oh
this
my
because
gosh.
you
Okay.
did the consumers research, so maybe I can just skip the mattress store. Although the roadies do sound appealing to me, but I could do that without the mattress store. Anyways, um, so you actually were approached for the sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this was interesting because it wasn't the buyer actually who approached us. It was a friend of the buyer who knew that the buyer was looking.
Interesting.
So we
Was that person in your dumpster at one point? Just kidding.
no, no, it's Travis Steliker. So I don't think he
Oh,
would be in my dumpster.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no. So yeah, we had, so full disclosure, just so for context, like
yeah.
the last 2 years, we had decided on a growth plan and we were executing the growth plan, and we just needed to pull one more pin to make it happen, which was hire a GM.
Yeah.
And replacing me was
And you
scary to
did.
me. What we didn't, I did not hire a GM. I
Or
was,
maybe it was that you told me about it and you were so excited, but then it
I
didn't.
was, I
Okay.
wasn't, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone had thought I hired that person because I was like, yeah. But what actually happened was I was just about ready to hire that person. And this is, Andrew freaked out about it.
Interesting.
He,
Okay.
yeah. So like we realized, like, I was having enough of a hard time. Like I'm just sweating already thinking about it. Like
Yeah.
letting go of
Yeah.
my management,
Yeah.
over my people. And I don't know if you know this, but my people, like I'm still friends with them.
Oh, I know.
I've been
I
hanging
mean,
out with some of my employees now in ways that I never
oh,
could before.
no, because we have to. We
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Yeah.
And um, me thinking about hiring someone else to take care of them, and it was a hard decision. But when I got ready, then Andrew started not being ready,
Oh, God.
and
Yeah.
he was worried about it. And I realized that he has trust issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he was
Well, I
when
mean, look
he
what
was out.
happened with that family member. I mean, I
Yes.
get it.
And that family member is the reason why there's massive trust issues.
Yeah.
We don't talk to that family member anymore. We
Yeah.
tried to repair the damage for years, and then it just got worse. And we realized that person just a taker and didn't care actually at all. And they stole a lot from us. Groovy Donuts was very rocky in the beginning because they literally took so much money from us in so many different weird ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I get
some of
that.
it, yeah, I know, it wasn't quite as direct as it was for you. It was kind of in a interesting way of how
Yeah.
they ended
Yeah.
up getting that money from us. But anyways, um, all that to be said, we started to have the serious conversation of, when I'm ready, you're not ready. When you're ready, I'm not ready. Like it
Yeah.
was back and forth. Like we kept
Yeah.
on going back and forth on it. And it was like months that this kept on going on. And I'm like, okay, we're in this weird limbo and neither one of us are on the same page at any
Yeah.
point in time for this thing. And we keep having this problem.
Yeah.
And that's when things started to change. Like my dad got really sick,
Yeah.
and Andrew at the same time ended up getting approached by some board members of a program that he graduated from at
Oh,
MSU.
yeah.
And they were like, hey, so you went through this program. We know you really enjoyed it, and we think you'd be a good fit. Would you want to be the director of this
Oh
program?
my God. It was a huge opportunity.
Huge. And
Huge.
in our second date, Kim, in our second date, he told me that he wanted to finish off his career in this director position. So they approached him.
Yeah.
They approached him about it.
Hmm.
So, it, long story short, he ends up applying for it, getting the job all simultaneously while I'm in the hospital with my dad for
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
And I mean, and that was the cool thing about the underlining, like the the coolest thing about that, if you're going to find a silver lining, is my team.
Yeah.
They fucking dominated. No one knew I was gone. No one knew I was dealing with my dad's stuff. I was not present.
Monica, that's when you know you built a great business. And by the way, that's when you know you built a sellable business.
Yes.
It can
And
run
that's,
without you.
yeah. And without a direct manager, I had built in, I was so worried about a new manager that I had taught my leads how to just come to me and say, this is what my week looks like. These are the resources I need. And this is a question I have about this. And so it was running itself. And so I would get a text message, what's this? Can you order that? And I just did it in a hospital. And everything was great. So that was when we did realize like this is a really sellable business.
Yeah.
And we went ahead and I'm recovering from my dad's thing, and I'm realizing, well, Andrew's going to be gone. They wanted to hire him 6 months sooner than they had originally said. So originally it was supposed to be mid 2026, and they wanted him January 2026. And this is uh, beginning of November of 2025.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, well, I need to hire this GM or something. Am I going, like, now I need to learn all his stuff, Andrew's stuff. Am I even going to like that? I don't like
Yeah.
books. I don't fucking like it. Like, I don't like
Oh,
the finances. I I don't mind it. I just don't like it. And I'm thinking about what my life is going to look
and you're
like.
just like, no.
And I did not want that. And it was becoming more and more evident. And I was starting to tell Andrew that. And we're out for breakfast and we have the conversation about selling again. And here comes Travis, comes up to our table. He's just there having breakfast. And we tell him about Andrew's job. And Travis and I went backpacking together. Like we went stripped down to our underwear.
Yeah.
The wild pooping
Yeah.
in holes and stuff.
Yeah. Because of course you
I
did.
got to know him. Like,
Yeah.
so he knew where I was at 2 years ago with the business, where I was looking at the growth that we needed to do. And I had so much uncertainty there where, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this and find the happiness, because the happiness that I got out of Groovy Donuts was managing my people and being close to my people, working side by side with my people. And in order to get Groovy Donuts to 5 stores, which was our original plan, I wasn't going to be able to do the thing that I loved anymore.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I'd like that. So he came up and he said, what are you going to do, Monica? And I was like, I'm trying to figure that out right now. And he goes, what about selling? And I said, well, we have been talking about it. And he's like, oh, yeah? Have you asked? And he pulls over the owner of the business we're in, says, hey, do you know somebody? And she goes, are you serious? Would you sell? And I was like, yeah, we'd sell to the right person. And she's like, I have the right person. And the next, like, I think it was like the next day, or it was within the week, like, we're signing non-disclosure agreements talking about selling our business. And this person wants to keep my people. Like, that was like my non-negotiable.
Oh,
You
yeah.
keep
You
all
were
your
going to protect them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that was their number one thing, is I want to keep all your people, because your people are
Are
amazing.
good. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Groovy Donuts is, the culture is positive and welcoming and warm.
Yep.
We make good donuts. We make good donuts.
But
But
again,
without the
people buy
culture,
from people.
yes,
They
without
come in
you,
for you, for your people. They come in for the
yeah,
coffee. They come. Yes, they're
yeah,
stopping because there's something they want,
yeah,
but they stay because of the
yeah.
people.
Yep, exactly. And I love the fact that that was a shared, like, mutual thing. And then we talked about everything else. So she largely wanted to keep, the values. That was the thing, is, do we share the same values?
Yeah.
Because she's going to change things.
Oh yeah.
I know. And I'm sweaty about it. And that's why I need to, like, leave to
Mhm.
not see what she's going to do, because she's probably going to make mistakes that
And
I've
I do
already.
think that's an important note. There are a lot of business owners that will try to stay through a transition, or
Oh,
will say, oh, I'll stay on a year. I don't know that that is ever in the best interest of the business, or quite frankly, the business owner, the former business
oh, I cannot imagine being on for a year. I mean, immediately from the first week that she took over, she started tweaking things.
owner.
And I was, okay, all right. It's not
Yep.
mine.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
mine.
Because
Ah,
honestly, we got where we are, as a business owner, you get where you are because like you, in a way, you are a control freak and you're
Oh,
managing all the
absolutely.
moving pieces, and you
Yeah,
have to. It's like you're managing the chaos. And so it's really hard to see, yeah, to see things change or not done the way you would do them.
absolutely. And the thing is like it's not wrong. It's
No.
not wrong what she's doing. It's a different path. And so I was really glad I actually ended up getting sick right after selling it, so I couldn't be
Oh
there
my God.
on Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh my
So
God,
I
Fat Tuesday. I always forget about you and Fat Tuesday. And
oh, it,
oh my God,
yeah.
what do we have? Like two of those through like the fellowship? And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The Fat Tuesday is 3 days of nonstop cooking for
yeah,
one fucking holiday. It is 3 days for me.
yeah.
And it is actually 2 weeks of intense prep because
Yep.
you're handing out what is it? We made 13,000 hand cut, hand filled punchkis
Punch case.
for
Yes,
one
I'm going to try and
fucking
say it
day.
and I'm going to mess it up. Much like
Oh,
your last
you're good.
name,
Yeah,
Gautier. I said it right,
uh,
right? Which, by the
goatee.
way, listeners,
You
her
did.
maiden name is Lucas, which is still legal.
Yes.
And I just think she should go back to that. I just wanted to go on record because it's easier for me, and that's really what matters. Okay, so I want to go back to, yes, the
Yeah,
business, you sold it, all of that.
yeah.
Um, I want to go back to you. Um, and so you've now, like, it's done. It's been what, a month?
A little over a month.
So you've had a little time to reflect, and I guess I want to know, what what are the three things you want? What are the three things you want somebody to understand about business ownership?
Mhm.
Um, and maybe just being a business owner.
Sure. You can plan, you can research, you can read books, you can talk to so many business owners, and you can do all of that for years to get an understanding of what business ownership looks like. And you just do not know until you do it
No,
because every business is different and you're different from everyone else. And so business ownership is not going to be what you expect, and you just need to know that. And it is probably one of the hardest things you could ever do because people have a lot of opinions. Like people thought I was rich for
oh
years,
God,
and
yeah.
Andrew and
I know.
I
Just
literally,
just a side note, no one goes into this to get rich. Or if they do,
no,
it is the hardest fucking way
yes,
you could choose to do it. So anyway,
yes,
back to, you're not
yeah,
rich. Moving on.
yeah. So I mean, the assumptions people make about you and your business and how well off you are and the ignorance surrounding that, there's so much of it. And it was really hard to swallow for a while. But then I just got used to it. So you're going to have a lot of people, even in your own family, your friends,
Mhm.
strangers off the street walk up to you and tell you what you are. And you're like, you don't know me. You
No.
don't know anything about me.
Mm,
But they have such a clear vision of who you are, even though they don't. They
no.
they don't know anything about it. Um, to this day, my parents still don't understand.
No.
So know that it's not easy. And if you're lucky enough to find that passion being a business owner, good for you. But like, I didn't get into like, if you like cooking and you like making donuts, do not own a business
Oh God, no.
making donuts.
Yeah.
You're not going to be cooking the donuts.
Yeah.
You're not. So
No.
that's, I think the last thing is like, you're not going to be doing the thing that you like doing, like cooking the donuts. You're going to be running the business.
Hmm.
That's what your job is. So whatever, if you want to make the donuts and own it, then you can own a little donut shop where you're cooking and prepping and serving and maybe have someone help you with the dishwasher, but then that's all you're doing. Like that's it, which is literally how we started.
Yeah.
Like that's how Groovy Donuts existed. We did all of the work and then we started being like, well, do we want to live the rest of our life making a little profit, and this is what we do every single day, every single weekend for the rest of our lives? Or do we want to hire people and then you are managing those people and then you're developing systems on how to grow? And it's yeah, so that's what I'll say.
I
Long-winded.
think too that there is a constant pressure when you're a small business or when you're a business owner to grow, grow, grow,
Oh,
grow, grow, grow.
oh
It's
yeah,
all about revenue. It's revenue, revenue, revenue.
yeah,
And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, I do not think that is an indicator of success for a business. I call bullshit because to like setting that, like, you got to hit a million. Now you've hit a million, you got to hit several million. Now that and it will never end. It will
yeah.
never end.
No,
And and to your point, we're too small for some of these programs. We're too small for this. We're too small for this. I mean, the same thing has happened to me, like I went to go join the entrepreneurial organization or whatever. And the previous year before I decided to make a pivot in what we offered, or what we were doing,
mhm.
we easily hit the revenue threshold. And then we made the pivot because I decided that impact to me was more important than revenue, and the
Yeah,
people were more
yeah.
important than revenue. And they were like, no, sorry, our indicator of success is a million. You can't be part of this very special elite
They're
group.
not your people, Kim.
No.
They're not
And you
your
know what I
people.
thought to myself? That hurt. That
Yeah,
hurt. And you hear that
yeah,
shit all the time. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're not successful because this is what I, as somebody who does not know you, does not understand what you're doing, doesn't
yeah,
really care, has decided your successes. And
yeah.
and to your point, you've had people walk off the street, you've had people tell you. And like, when you put yourself out there, there are people.
You have to define your own
Yeah,
measure of success.
yeah,
That was a huge part of my growth with Groovy Donuts because first measure of success was I need to help this man with starting off his business,
yeah,
right? And then I realized I needed to take over a section of that business, and then figuring out what success after that was okay, building a successful team. And then after I built a successful team, then I was like, okay, what's my next measure of success? And I feel like that if I ever was in doubt, that was what I would have to look at, is because, like to your point, Andrew was focused on growth, like growth, growth,
yep,
growth, growth, growth.
yep.
And I mean, he came from a business background, like makes sense. And for me, I would be like, well, I don't give a shit about growth.
Yeah, yeah,
I I mean, I'll do it if the I don't mind doing that as long as I'm getting fulfilled with what work I'm actually doing day to day. I need to be able to sleep at night.
and
And
I think, you know not to pivot, god, that word,
yeah,
once you start
you're
using it,
good.
you can't stop. But I think the reason, the fellowship exists is because the hardest part of a business, or I think the hardest stage is growth.
Yeah,
And whether that's revenue, whether that's people, whatever it is.
yeah,
And there's all these resources a lot of times for a startup, but there isn't for those that are like in the second stage. And
yeah,
that's when you don't have the resources and the network and the know-how, and you don't know how to get out of your business. And that is when, my God, it gets hard, and the mental health and
yeah,
the all of it. And they just, people just think you are this unfeeling, or you have to have this tough exterior,
yeah.
because otherwise people take advantage of you.
Well,
Um,
I will tell you, Kim, I don't have the toughest exterior. As you know, I'm a little soft and squishy, and I've always presented myself that
yep,
way. But that vulnerability that I've expressed in day to day really sucked at first because
Oh,
I did have employees steal from us. I had some customers, trying to do things. And I did have to have some thick skin after a while and figure out, but like I do it my way, I do it on my terms. I'm
yes,
still squishy, but I
yes,
have a system. I
yes.
have a system to protect myself.
Yep.
I have a very extensive interview process that I've had so many people at,
I'm
you
gonna need
know,
you to send that to me. That'd be great.
okay.
So, and
It's a
actually, could
lot
I
of
just
work.
hire you to do that? Like, that'd be awesome. There's your new business. Just consult on that shit. Like,
Well,
you
yeah,
know, I'm just saying.
yeah.
I
But
will.
yeah,
I sorry. Yeah, finish the interview. Like you are
yeah.
squishy, but you still had to.
I built a system to protect myself.
Mhm.
So I still do things my way,
Yep.
but I have if you've broken this rule as an employee, twice.
Yep.
We've talked about it twice. The third time, no matter how much I like you, no matter how many things in your personal life are happening, we're going to go into a PIP.
Yep.
And I had to put people who still work at Groovy Donuts, who are thriving, on PIPs. And we have
You
talked
have
about
to
it
set, but you
frankly
have to set that boundary because if
because
you
they
don't
have to
set,
realize, yeah, they have to realize, no, this is a serious thing. I can still care about you and care about your circumstance and even love you. But like, we got work to get done
yeah.
here.
Yep.
And
And
maybe,
at the end of the day, the business
yeah,
has to come first because
right,
there is nothing if there is not that. And that is
right.
the hardest fucking thing because you have to put the business before people and people see you as callous and like cold, and it's like you don't understand. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
And the people who, I talk about that. I'm like, I think the way that I was able to connect with most of my employees is not say that. I would say we all need to pay our bills. We all need to pay our bills. And if we don't do this, then that can start hurting the business. And then you're not going to be making much money. And your people that you care about on your team are not going to be able to make as much money. I'm not going to be able to give out as many hours. I'm going to have to start cutting things. And this is why this is so important. These mistakes impact the success of the business, which impacts our paychecks. And like, and that honest truth, like sitting down and talking to someone like that is really, really hard to get started. And sometimes, quite frankly, I've been told I'm a manipulator.
oh, yes, obviously.
I
That was actually one of my three words, but it was the fourth, so I just cut it. Yeah.
yes, thanks.
Yeah.
But
No.
no, like, and sure, you can see that as manipulation if that's what your intent
No.
is.
Yeah.
No, my intent is to, well, let's talk about this. This is real. This is the actual reality of what the consequence of these mistakes are. And so I've always run things my way. Like, well, not always. There was a period where I tried to be the hard ass, like
Yeah.
3 strikes, you're out policy.
Is it?
So not my
Oh,
scene. Could not do it.
no.
Not it. Nope.
Yeah.
Um, but once I started getting enough of those people on my team that understood what I was doing, then that built a core that I could rely on. And then now I have like a team that I sold to someone so that they can take it to the next level and they can fulfill their dream. This was her dream, was to own a donut shop. And so I
You're
was
like, that
able,
was never mine, but here I was.
here I was doing
Yeah.
donuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm proud of the team that we sold her.
I want you to
Yeah,
before we end this podcast that I told you was
yeah,
going to be short and then we just
you're
couldn't
good.
stop. We might have to break this into two parts. But
Okay.
I want you to own what you did. Because I know you're proud of your team and I know like I think there's something that we do a lot as business owners is we give credit to those around us, but we don't because it's uncomfortable. We don't own what it is that we did and what we accomplished. You are a 50 company, so watch. You are a business that got approached by somebody else to buy because you had the right systems, you had the right structure, and you did that. You
Thanks,
did
Kim.
that.
Thanks, Kim.
And I'm fucking proud of you. And I hope more people will say that and realize that's not insulting, because I am. And it's you, the example you set, and like the vulnerability piece is what other business owners need to see. And you know, women across the board, quite frankly. So
Yeah. And, you know, I really appreciate you, Kim, because you do make other people, like you say that to me a lot. I feel like almost every time I see you, there's a
yeah,
point where you're like saying this to
yeah,
me, and it means a lot. It really does.
yeah.
And I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, we should probably wrap this up, or this will be an 8-hour podcast.
Um, Drink of choice.
Oh, yes.
We-
Okay. You're drinking. Yeah. I was going to say we have to end with that. So you are right now drinking.
I am drinking an Americano made on my new espresso machine that I gave myself as
You
a
were like,
gift.
this is me celebrating. I'm buying an espresso machine. Yeah.
Yes, it's got a grinder in
Yeah.
it and
Oh my
everything.
God.
And oh my gosh, it's the best.
It's like, you know, the Cadillac version, probably not
Yeah,
knowing you, but you're like, it's good.
it's
Okay.
yeah.
And then if you're like, you know, if you're going to pour a roadie, what's it going to be?
Okay. I thought about this a lot. This was like the thing I knew I'd be asked,
Yeah.
and it's circumstantial. So
Oh, fair. All
yes.
right.
So if like my go-to will almost always be a Bordeaux. White, red, don't care. Bordeaux region of wine. They
Okay.
always feel good. I
All
never
right.
have a hangover. They taste really delightful and it's amazing. If it's a cocktail, if it's cold, I like hot toddies, like a traditional hot
Yeah.
toddy, not the tea
Those
bag
are
hot
great when you're
toddy.
sick too, people.
Yes,
Like,
Christmas drinks, like, okay, so we always had to work Christmas Eve, and it's a huge holiday for us. So I always felt awful afterwards. So my Christmas started with a hot toddy. Best thing ever. If it's warm, then I almost always go for a Negroni.
oh, okay. That's really
Yeah.
good too. Hey, Jax, we appreciate your commentary. Sorry, no one can
Yay.
hear them probably, but it is loud in here. Okay,
Oh
so
gosh.
what is a Negroni?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask, and I was going to bring that up. I don't even know. I just know I like it,
You just know I
and
like it and someone else will
I,
make it for me.
someone else makes it for
Yeah,
me. I
yeah.
don't make them at home.
Those are the
I
best drinks that someone else makes for you. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And so if I'm out and it's warm and I'm in a cute dress and I'm like, I'm gonna have a Negroni. And
And
you
it
know what
just
I
sounds
love about it
you order
is
it.
that people are impressed by that drink. They're like, oh, that's such a great drink to order. I'm like, is it? I like the taste of it.
Yeah. You're like, it's pretty refined, just like me. So thank you for sharing your story because it
Yeah,
matters. And I'm not going to ask you what's next because I hate that question. And also,
yeah.
you know what, Monica? You don't have to fucking know.
I don't
I
know,
hope
and
it's
I
a
love
nap.
it.
I hope it's a
I'm
nap.
sleeping so much. I'm sleeping so much. It's the
I
best.
love that. I love that. So thank you. Thank you for
Thanks
this.
again. Yeah, thank you for interviewing me.